baseball, apple pie, freedom, Bowie knives. All quintessential parts of the American tradition. While the Americans cannot claim to have invented the clip-point design, it's hard to argue that the Bowie knife does not make you think of the American West. I know the namesake of the knife. His name was Jim Bowie. But following the American tradition, we're going to say it wrong. Like the M1 Garand, it's the American tradition to call a weapon by the wrong name. So this is a Bowie knife. This here is the Devil's Edge. Large Bowie fighting knife. I ordered this off of Cult of Athena a few years ago. On accident, actually. I was on my phone. I didn't have a debit card at the time. I was fiddling around trying to figure out, okay, what are some other ways I could go about ordering some knives? And I saw, oh, I can order by money order, pay by money order. So I clicked on it and said, congratulations, your order has been submitted. So I had to figure out how to fill out a money order so that I can pay for my knife. There was a bit of controversy with Cult of Athena recently where products from Devil's Edge, like this Bowie knife, and from Belauer Arms, they were incorrectly listing their blade steel. So when I ordered this off of Cult of Athena, it probably listed it as like 1095 high carbon steel. So now on the website, if you go onto this and look at the item description for this Boar's Tusk Bowie knife, it says 420 stainless, which if you're in the knife community and you're into metallurgy and things, that's pretty much like the worst stuff you could possibly get. It's what Chinese wall hanger garbage is made of, 420 stainless. I'm sure it was on the cutting edge 100 years ago, no pun intended, but 420 is highly considered to just be garbage. That being said, I know that Buck makes their 110, their famous folding knife, in 420 stainless. And from what I know, a lot of people are happy with them. Apparently they temper it right or something. And as you saw in that intro cinematic, I was really hacking away at that branch. And it really seems as though it's still intact. Still in one piece. This might be on the very limit of what you can demand out of a stainless steel blade, because I know that stainless steel is more brittle, it's more rigid than carbon steel. That's why carbon steel is preferred for a sword, because it's more flexible and it won't break, especially with something long and thin. Has a lot of vibration and acoustics going on inside of the steel. So the longer it gets, those vibrations can cause the rigid structure to snap. And that's why a lot of the stainless steel swords have a very poor reputation. This might be as long as you can get with 420 stainless steel and still get performance out of it. And there was one test that didn't make it into the final cut of me trying to stab into a tire, and it didn't break or anything. I was really stabbing it and it didn't break, so there's no visible damage to the tip, if you can see that. But look at this. Can you see that? There's tarnish marks on it. There's like spots of tarnish and, dare I say, rust? So this is a stainless steel that stains? I've never heard of such a thing. Can you see that in the camera? There's tarnishing on the blade, especially right here. It might be hard to tell in the light, but there's tarnishing on the blade. A stainless steel is not supposed to do that, so maybe this one I have here was from a different batch. Maybe this one is carbon steel, but it is sharp, as those unfortunate water bottles came to find out. The blade on the Boar's Tusk Bowie is 11 3/8 inches. And it has this brass handguard here. The fit is good on it. It's put together well. On a lot of knives, you'll find that the fit, like specifically right here on the spine, it won't be flush or something. And that's a sign of poor craftsmanship. This is a decent fit. This is a good fit. It's comfortable in the hand. It's got... Does that look like wood to you? It kind of looks like wood, but if you look at it closer, it kind of doesn't look like wood. I'm still figuring out how to use this camera. I apologize for the blurs and whatnot. But Bowie knives traditionally have like a disc guard on them. This one doesn't, but I don't really think a disc guard does a whole lot other than keeping your hand from sliding up on whatever knife you're using. And these, I don't know what even to call these, these parts of the handle prevent your hand from slipping either way. So that's, I like that when you're gripping on something. You have some security that if you're slipping a little bit, it's not going to fly out of your hand. That makes me feel good. So the question comes up, what is this blade good for? Famously, the Bowie knife was invented by Jim Bowie for fighting. And it may come as a surprise that historically, the Bowie knife has been banned by more states and for longer than the AR-15. The Bowie knife was banned by multiple states. There was a tax, a transfer fee on Bowie knives. So the Bowie knife is the original high-capacity assault knife. But the Bowie that Jim Bowie himself used was more similar to a modern K-bar than this. Jim Bowie's knife was like 9 inches, 9.5 inches, and again it had that disc guard. For like survival and camping, anything with a blade can do survival tasks. You see people who carve a boat with a log and a rock. Anything with a knife can get the job done. That being said, for camping tasks, this sort of fits in the middle of what I would usually do if I was in a survival situation or in a camping situation, which is I need to carve things and I need to chop things. So this is a middle ground, but for the price of one of these, I can have a Tramontina machete and a Mora companion twice over for the price of one of these. So this will accomplish those tasks. You can carve stuff with this. You can chop stuff with this. But a Tramontina machete for like 20 bucks and a Mora companion for 15, 20 bucks will get more mileage, will do more work for you than this will, in my opinion. This blade grind here, I believe this is called a hollow grind. This is a hollow ground blade, and I don't find the hollow grind to be particularly good for cooking tasks. It's cutting up meats, cutting up vegetables. I did use this, I think probably to cut a watermelon, and it got stuck in there. And with this clip point, it's hard to get your hand on there to rock it to cut whatever you're cutting. What it would be good for, I imagine, is what the name implies, the Boar Tusk Bowie. I imagine this would be good for hog hunting if that's your thing. If I was going to go hog hunting, I'd want to go in with like a G3 and 308 and be very far away from them. Hit them right here. But if your thing is getting a bunch of American bulldogs and going out with your buddies, getting that hog tied down and going right up under its neck, dispatching him, this might do the job for you. It's pointy and it's sharp and it's kind of thick. I didn't look up the thickness, but it's kind of thick, it's rigid. I think this would do the job for you. Now something I would do, unless I was in a survival situation, maybe something you would do. It comes with this sheath, which is a decent quality. Once knives get about this long, they really, you can see how that's balanced. When this is on your leg, this is what it's going to be doing on your leg while you're walking. It's going to be slapping up against your leg the entire time if you're out in the woods hiking or anything. The main reason I like this is because it looks good. I want to get that iconic picture, like Jim Bowie himself. I have limited time and there's a train outside. So I like this for aesthetic reasons. It's sexy. It's still kind of messy from our tests on it. But it's not something that I would really use in everyday life. It's a little too big to just be carrying around for me, and there's not many things that this... I'm not going to be hog hunting every day, so there's not many things that this does that I need done on a daily basis. So should you get this? That depends. If you're like kind of a knife snob and you refuse to get anything that's a lower grade than 5160, then this is probably not for you. And besides, these are out of stock. But if they ever come in stock and you're interested in something like this, these can be found on Cult of Athena. They're like around 65 bucks after shipping. They'll be like 80 bucks for this. And you could take cool pictures with it. It's good looking. You could take a picture of yourself in the mirror. So, if you enjoyed this different style of video, go ahead and leave a like. I feel like KnifeTube is kind of not exciting anymore, and nothing really cool going on, but I'd like to change that. So, if you want KnifeTube to be cool again, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. All bottles in this video were reused, refilled, recycled, saving the turtles and all that good stuff. A thank you to my cameraman, Ben, and as always, stay safe and keep your sword sharp.